Welcome everyone to the next installment of Pass or Play, where today we will be analyzing Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm your new host, EdgeofInfinityGaming. Brian unfortunately will not be joining us anymore due to my hostile takeover of EdgeofInfinityGaming. Now, before we get too into this video, all the points made are opinions based on the beta and what we already know about the game. So things are likely to change, so just keep that in mind, but regardless, let's get into it. So starting off positive, I want to get into the pros that I noticed. First off, the game just feels good. Like playing it, and the combat flows well with how the game progresses. That aspect mixed with the fact that the maps are absolutely gorgeous just allows the game to just go smoothly. Plus, I like that it has a Battlefield feel to it, but at the same time, it feels a lot like I'm playing the original Battlefront 2. All of the maps are of substantial size, and even though you don't spawn on like your squad or anything, the deploy points never put you that far away from the action. The games also, on average, don't run absurdly long amounts of time like most Battlefield games and like the other monstrosity Battlefront. So you're able to get in, play the game, get your points, and get out, and then get into another game without having to waste a span of like 30 minutes. The game took a bit of a step in the right direction by adding a class system and the ability to level up these classes, which in turn reward you if you're really good with that class. And every class is customizable to a point. What I mean by that is that there is still the card system from Battlefront, which either give buffs to the class equipped or they change what the abilities do, but it's just, you can customize the classes that you play a lot to fit your playstyle. So I just feel that works out really well. I don't know. So throughout the course of the game, you can rack up battle points. And with these battle points, you're able to purchase either heroes, you can play as a Wookiee, you can play as a super battle droid, I think is what they're called. And what I like is that even though the heroes are quite powerful, and they are also customizable, they aren't immortal. If someone jumped right into the middle of another team, they might get a couple kills, but they will likely die as well. So even though the heroes actually require like some aspect of skill and strategy to play, which I feel complements how the game flows very well. Also, exactly like the ground classes, you have the Starfighter classes in the game mode Starfighter Assault. Now, I am super happy that they added this because it's space combat, which I really felt was lacking in the other game, because it was, and the game just didn't feel right. But no, we get back to space combat, and it's a dogfighting, objective-based gameplay, and it's just amazing. All of the ships are customizable. And like the heroes, there are like hero ships, and they also do require some aspect of skill to play. But with the dogfighting, probably the most fun part for me is just how immersive it is. Like, you can fly behind your teammates, you can do bombing runs with your teammates, you can fly in formation, and even shoot enemies off of your friends, which just feels amazing. Another big pro for me is that the DLCs are going to be free. So I just feel that's good, because I hate what they did with Battlefield 1, where there was a day one $50 DLC. So I'm just really glad that this time the DLCs are going to be free, which I think is just going to, make the game so much better. But so I mean, that's super promising. Another aspect of the game is that it has some, like, there's a game there for pretty much any type of player. It has the multiplayer for people who just want PvP action, but it also will have a campaign where it expands on the lore of what happens between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, a bit of a how you say con can be put towards this campaign due to the fact that it is actually not going to be very long. It's only gonna run to anywhere between 2 or 3 hours from what I've read, which is a bit upsetting because I won't be able to get super immersed in a story with that, but at the same time, I won't have to dedicate a substantial amount of time just to learn what happens. So, I mean, I feel that works out alright, and that can be either taken as a pro or con depending on how you look at it. So, with all my pros out of the way though, let's start to get into some cons, and what I will have to say is there are some pretty game detrimental cons for me. First thing for me is that even though the game is really promising, we have to remind ourselves that it is still EA, so just to be prepared if it doesn't end up being everything that you hoped for. On that note though, the game's DLC will be free, but unfortunately we'll have quite a bit of microtransactions in the game, and since from those transactions you can get the customizable things like cards and guns, the game will have a bit of a pay-to-win vibe to it. I personally never let that drive me away from a game, especially a shooter, because skill does come into play, but it still sucks that there will be a pay-to-win for the lazy people with mom and dad's money. But I hope and I pray that it's not super game changing, but I really believe that it's going to be. Another big con that I noticed though is that sometimes it can be super unclear what the objective actually is, and it seems not to reward those who just play the objective to win the game as much as it rewards those who just go for kills. And what I mean by rewards is you don't get as many battle points from attacking the objective or playing the objectives as you would just killing people, and without the battle points you won't be able to play as your hero, you won't be able to play as the heroes or anything else. So I don't really like the way that comes off, but hopefully it changes before the game comes out. On a gameplay note though, I noticed that the starfighter combat is going to be very unforgiving to new players. Plus, on the ground maps, you can spawn in starfighters to like fight other planes that they have in the sky, and I guess kind of shoot at people on the ground. But the flying on those maps, since they aren't as big as the space map, it just feels really awkward. Like, it doesn't feel like it belongs, and the flying is just weird. It doesn't fit, in my opinion. The maps are just too enclosed for it. So, I mean, beyond, even though microtransactions is a pretty big con for me, that's really all I have on cons. But like I said, these can be very detrimental for the game if small changes aren't made. So hopefully we do see some changes before the release of the game. Hopefully. But now down to the most important question on the video. Is it a pass or is it going to be a play? Even though the game has its problems, it is still super fun. It was really hard for me to put down the game to make this video. So based on the experience that I've had, my personal rating of the game, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Meaning, from me, this is definitely going to be a play. I would definitely recommend playing this game. And if you're watching this before the beta still comes down, I definitely recommend downloading the beta and forming your own opinion. What I've noticed about the game is it's not quite back to the original Battlefront 2, which I personally have just been wanting a remastered version of that because that game was so much fun. It's not quite to that yet, but at the same time, it's nothing like the other Battlefront game, so I feel it was really a good step in the right direction. So that's why I'm giving this one a definite play. Play the game, form your own opinion. It's fun. It's really fun. Or what you can also do is just wait for reviews to come out and see what people are saying, or just go off of what I'm telling you in this video because it's a play. For me, it's a play. It's gonna stay a play, and I would definitely recommend you trying this game. So remember, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this installment of Pass or Play. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I look forward to reading a lot of y'all's opinions on the game in the comments. So I don't really have much else to say on this topic, so keep cool, y'all. See ya.